it still feels a little bit like a dream. I mean, yeah, jumping out of a plane at 13,000 feet. It's, having to weigh in and make weight.
Right.
I mean, the weigh-in part was one of the funnier part. Like watching Mike take his shirt off, I'm like, I guess I'm taking my shirt off too, because every quarter pound or 0.2 pounds is going to count, and it did. I woke up at 235. It's 234.8, and I was like, crap. Like I'm gonna like I carb loaded the last number of days, and I just like all of a sudden went from like I was at 224. And
oh my gosh!
I can fluctuate that much because I'd been fasting and whatever else. And so when I woke up that weight, I ended up going to the gym, to the Lifetime that we've been working out at, and sweat out, and then made sure the digestive tract was working multiple times. And sure enough, I came in at 228.8 with my shirt off, which was weird to do that in public lobby, but.
And the funniest, I think, of all of it is our excitement and our joy with each other, and then being shushed by the people that work there.
Yeah, they're like, "Can you quiet down?" Like it was, I was. They were kind of downers a little bit. It was kind of surprising. Like they were strict, which I can appreciate on the execution side.
Sure.
But in the lobby, you think like, hey, we're going to build some excitement around this. Is like for most people, it's a bucket list item or a once in a lifetime thing.
Once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy? Right now we're bonding over this. We did this together. We're experiencing it, but it was an amazing experience, and this all ties right into the book and your whole philosophy on just being giving, right, and generosity. So this was a gift for the guys on the group. Got set up for us. Actually, a mutual friend, Joel Marion, he paid for the whole thing and has a group of business friends out here just hanging out and setting up these amazing experiences. And then we got to do that together. We get to know each other better. Joel's not looking for anything out of that. He's just connecting people. Relationships are getting built.
Yep.
And we don't always think of it that way.
No, I think Joel's probably one of the best I've ever seen at understanding both the experiential investment and the tangible physical investment. And not just in business, but I've never seen it. Very few people will invest in their friends and high school friends and past relationships and family at the level that he does. And I think that, the core of giftology, people are like, oh, it's trinkets and hats. And it's like, no, none of that stuff. It's actually like, how do you love on relationships, all relationships so that they flourish, so that you get closer. And the cool thing is on trips like this or experiences is like there starts to be like crossover and other relationships that are built, but you always tie back to the person who helped make that introduction or that connection or that relationship happen. Like there's a halo effect,
right?
That radiates to Joel. He feeds off that energy.
The intention really is the relationships. It's not what am I going to get out of this, which was almost what you think could be wrong with traditional gift giving. You look at Christmas time and somebody gives you a plate of cookies and you're like, oh darn, we forgot that person, we got to get them something, and none of it means anything.
No.
So follow-up question to this is in the corporate world and what you're seeing a lot of companies do, how are they getting it wrong right now as far as the way they're doing their gift giving? Like it's just a line item and they don't spend as much as that as they do on other areas of the business, and it's probably the most important thing in business.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, they do a lot of things that they do wrong. Almost everything that corporate America does is the opposite of what they should be doing. Like gifting should be done because you want to, not because you have to. Most gifting, almost every business would say they're in the relationship building business, relationships with their employees. Oh, we're all about engagement and culture and clients. Oh, all about, relationship and trust and value. And then when do they love on those relationships? At expected, obligatory times. Hey, it's our anniversary. We've been in business 20 years. We have to give you a gift. Hey, it's Christmas. Have to give you a gift. Hey, you've worked here for 10 years. That's 20,000 hours. Here's some crappy catalog of stuff you don't want from China with a logo on it. Pick this out as a way to commemorate you working here for 20,000 hours. They're essentially investing money to annoy, frustrate, piss off, or guilt their most valuable people, internally and externally. Like if you
sounds awful.
It's a whole, like the amount of people, like at least corporate America will typically get experience as well. Like if they take their top clients out to dinner, they're not taking them to McDonald's. They're taking them to Morton's or Ruth Chris or Fleming's or Four Seasons. If they take them on a trip, it's not like in a dinghy boat. They're taking them on like amazing cruise ship or to Europe. They're doing things at a level 10, but then they go and they want to invest in a tangible gift. And instead of taking and doing the Super Bowl level of gifts, they're doing the Motel 6 level of gifts. It's like, hey, we just took you to the Super Bowl and to the Masters. Here's a polo shirt with our logo on it. You did $1 million with us. Thank you so much. That's embarrassing.
Right.
Like,
No, it makes sense.
Like, we're going to give you a tangible representation that we don't care enough to invest in you. Here. Like, and what do? They say thank you. But where does that go? It ends up at Goodwill. It ends up regifted. It ends up in the trash can. Because you don't want to go wear like UBS's logo on your chest, even if you've spent $10 million with them. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so most people in corporate America haven't realized that branding and marketing and gifting are not all the same. Like, if you want to pour into somebody, like if you're going to your best friend's wedding, you'd never put on the Tiffany's vase, compliments of UBS. Like, that'd be the cheesiest, tackiest thing in the world. But we do that in business, and we think we're branding and marketing. And really what we're doing is we're trying to manipulate and turn them into a billboard for us. Amazing what you'll do when you're desperate. Like, the most awkward conversation in the world, pitch your girlfriend's dad knives. So it's just a weird vibe. But Paul, to his defense, like, never made me feel uncomfortable. He encouraged, like, he made me feel, because I didn't have really, like, I had sold blow pops in middle school, but I never really sold anything. And I'm selling these. I mean, these are expensive knives. As 20, like, might as well told me the sets were $1 million. So I pitched him the pocket knives, and he was like, John, could I engrave and order 100 of the paring knives? And I'm like, you want to give a bunch of CEO dudes from, financial advisor firms and lumber yards and builders and, whatever, a kitchen tool? That just seemed weird. And I said, why? Paul, I'll sell you 100, whatever. I'll sell you 100 anything. Like, I'm desperate. Like, why though? And he's like, I remember, like, because yesterday he leaned back in his chair. He's 60 at the time. He's like, the reason I have more referrals and deal flow and access, I found out that if you take care of the family and business, everything else takes care of itself. So for me, I start to understand that, like, if somebody wants to get to me, they got to spend a lot of money. Like I like bourbon. You're not going to send me Buffalo Trace and get my attention. You're going to send me Pappy. It's expensive. I have expensive taste. You have expensive taste. But if somebody does something for my wife or my kids, who oftentimes are not on the trips, like hanging out with Magic Johnson and doing these crazy things, like, the people around the people are usually underappreciated. It's the family, it's the kids, it's the pets, it's the assistant, it's the team. And so I realized early on, the reason the knives work so well is, like, the guys thought they were cool. In the industries we were in, it was basically a middle-aged married white dude club, finance and oil and gas and whatever else. And Paul understood that if he could take care of the family and give them something that was family-centric, not another boondoggle away from the family or not another thing of golf balls or, bourbon or whatever, like, he would get the spouse on the side of saying, hey, I see you. I acknowledge you. Like, you're a person, engrave the name, all that. And that, to this day, like, 80% of the gifts that we do are not employee-focused or executive-focused. They're family-focused. And most guys, and really most people in business, men and women, are like, that's weird. Like, can't we just send all of our employees this or all of our clients this? And I'm like, no. Go a little level deeper, and you could invest, instead of investing $10,000, you could invest $1,000 and get $100,000 of value, because you're taking care of people that are oftentimes underappreciated. So that we call it the inner circle now. So most of our focus is, people are like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, that's not weird. It's called being human. Yeah. It's acknowledging that as humans, we have families and people around us. And like, if you can tap into that, like, the impact goes exponential.